Hi, in this video we'll be talking about the first principle, do no harm. Imagine I'm a first-year student at Northwestern, looking to get involved in volunteer work with a campus organization who works with a community partner. I want to expand my experiential learning and help the community of Evanston. I volunteered a little bit in high school, but I'm worried about what impact I might bring as a volunteer for Northwestern.
That's a completely valid concern, and it's great that you're thinking about it before you jump into volunteering with a community organization. I'm Dana, a fourth-year student at Northwestern, and I would remind you that when getting involved in the community, it's important to remember the principle of do no harm.
Does that just mean not purposely harming anyone or anything within the organization? Because I don't think that most people who want to support their community would do that.
That's definitely part of it. Doing no harm certainly encompasses not actively harming anyone or anything in the organization. But it also covers complying with all local laws and following any safety and liability requirements of your specific community partner.
It makes sense. It's important to follow these guidelines because each rule was created with a specific purpose. If we disregard them, we can put ourselves or others in danger. You might be used to doing something a certain way, while your community partner does it in an entirely different way. There might be context or past experiences that govern a rule, so we must respect all explicit ordinances from our community partners. While it does sound tedious, it's important to keep up with organizational and legal regulations in order to protect vulnerable populations. Is there anything else we should be aware of to not perpetuate harm?
We also must consider the safety of everyone involved in the partnership, including yourself. Before taking any action, we have to think about what risks are associated with a community project. Which people are involved? How is the community impacted? Is any strain put on the community partner within the partnership? Could the project hurt the people it is intended to help? Could participating in the project bring harm to yourself? Essentially, before any community partnership, we should think about what associated consequences come along with it. If any of them might perpetuate harm, we should reconsider the terms of the partnership. Remember, every explicit rule brings along an implicit counterpart. It's important to critically engage with the rules so that we can protect all parties involved, especially historically marginalized communities.
But what if that means terminating the community partnership? Wouldn't that just set back the community further?
That's a valid concern. If harm is detected, it doesn't mean a campus organization has to stop working with the community altogether. It just means that they should change the terms of the partnership to mitigate risk and prevent further harm to the community. That's why it's important to set clear goals with a community partner. Both parties have to be on the same page.
I see. That makes sense. It sounds like we need to have an active discussion about possible harms so that we don't further inflict pain on our community partner or the community at large. It's like we have to balance the student experience with outcomes in the community.
Exactly. We want Northwestern students to have a good experience, but it cannot come at the cost of the safety of others. At the end of the day, we are NU ambassadors serving alongside community leaders, and we must always uplift the voices and experiences of these community experts, especially Black, Indigenous, and people of color. The principle of do no harm has roots in biomedical ethics. Medical professionals operate using this principle to protect patient safety.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way. I understand how this applies in a medical sense. That makes perfect sense. But is there an example of where it might apply with a community partner?
Imagine you are working with a community organization that tutors local elementary school students. You commit to tutor a student twice a week. However, a student org commitment comes up and now you can only tutor once a week and you don't communicate with the volunteer coordinator at the organization. When you don't show up, the org is short a volunteer and the student you committed to tutor is left potentially confused and disappointed.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. Even if you have good intentions, you can still perpetuate harm.
Exactly. Good intentions can look like overstepping and overcommitting, thus causing both you and your community organization harm. Clear and upfront communication is pertinent to a healthy community partnership and preventing harm to everyone involved. It doesn't mean we shouldn't actively engage and work with the community, but we do have to be thoughtful about how our actions will impact everyone involved. That's the essence of the principle of do no harm. Thanks so much for listening and learning. Next up is Principle 2, Reciprocity and Sustainability.